Speaking of horses is also made possible through the courtesy of Equine Technologies. For all of your hoof treatment, hoof care, and hoof-related infectious problems, please contact Equine Technologies. Gooseberry Natural Feed was created to provide healthy products, basic nutrition, and enhance the digestive system and process in all equines. Gooseberry has certified organic ingredients for a total health feed. To learn more about Gooseberry Natural Feed, contact them at gooseberrynaturalfeed.net. Humane manufacturing mats reduce bedding costs. They cushion animals' joints and muscles. Mats will not absorb moisture and animal fluids. All of our recycled rubber mats and rubber floor products are made using only the best of the best, clean, green, and recycled. Antibacterial and antifungal agents are added during the manufacturing process, guaranteed not to curl or buckle as you see here. Rubber mats use the Lock Tough system. Use Humane Manufacturing stall mats for all of your needs. Hey, we are here at the Women's Horse Industry Network Convention in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. And my guest right now is Denise Lee Branco. Has a book called Horses at the Corner Post, right here, Horses at the Corner Post. So first of all, welcome, and tell us a little bit, Denise, about the book and some of your inspiration to do this.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for having me, Wayne. Appreciate it. Well, this true story started out in 1976 with the birth of my horse, Freedom. And we had that instant bond like a lot of girls do. We showed one show, basically, and there was a period of time he had gone off to my uncle, his ranch. And a lot of times my uncle's ranch would take on horses and teach them to rope. And then they'd come back to our ranch and retire there. So that happened to Freedom. I went off to college and that sort of thing. And we had our life apart for many years. But the inspiration was, in my adulthood, I had a dream that I hadn't seen this horse in years, but he was in danger. And I had this dream, and I had to set out to find him. That was my mission, my inspiration. It was my duty to find him, And anyway, this is the journey to find him again. And turns out his owner was dying of cancer, and we feel like that was the reason for me to search for him again. And luckily, he ended up selling him back and was able to bring him home. And once he passed away 3 years ago, I thought I need to share this story. And I enjoyed books as a young girl, and maybe a lot of other young girls might enjoy my story.
Well, part of this, too, when you talk about the story and everything, there are so many fascinating stories about the connection of a horse and a person and the way it works out. And this is a wonderful book. And how can they get a copy of this?
Yes. Online bookstores, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, my website. Right now I'm offering a special $14.95 on my website.
What is your website?
It's horseatthecornerpost.com. And I wanted to mention I've won a silver medal. First time out of the gate, my first book, and I feel pleased to have won that in his honor. So that's another thing that it's a worthwhile read. Basically, and the book awards is Living Now Book Awards, Books for Better Living. So I'm happy to win their award.
So what's on the horizons? What are you looking forward to?
Gosh, when I started, I thought, well, I'll go to a few horse shows, but it's been a year now, and things like this have come up and other groups that I've been involved with. And the big thing is giving back and charities. Mostly local charities I've been involved with, the SPCA and that sort of thing, but definitely horse charities is what I'm looking for, the right fit, and networking to find that. So yes, giving back, basically.
Well, it's a great book, and we're glad to have you here at the Women's Horse Industry Network. It's Horse at the Corner Post, right here, and it's by Denise Lee Branco.
Wayne, I wanted to present you with this copy Well, thank you for allowing me to share my story. It's a blessing to meet you, so thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And again, one more time, your website.
Yes, thank you. It's horseatthecornerpost.com, and Denise Branco at horseatthecornerpost.com is my website email. I'm sorry.
Relax.
Okay.
Relax now. See, you don't know how long it was taking you to calm down to do this, right?
Right, I know, about a year. I saw you at the Horse Expo in Sacramento. I thought, I'm just not brave enough to go up to you. So this is great. I appreciate it.
No problem. Denise, thank you very much.
Thank you, Wayne. Nice to talk with you today. Thank
Be sure and check it out. Horse at the Corner Post. Thank you, Denise.
you, Wayne. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, speaking of horses, we are here in Nashville, Tennessee at the Women's Horse Industry Network. Lisa Wysocki is my guest, and you're one of the people here that are promoting what all you're doing. And you do a lot of things. I mean, you've got the books, you've got the line of halters and equipment. You also do training and various clinics, so you are very multi-talented in this. Tell us a little bit about all of the things you are doing in the horse world.
Well, as you said, I do clinics. My clinics basically are based on learning about yourself through horses, through lessons from the horse herd. And it's just amazing to see personal growth through people. I also write books, nonfiction, and I have a new equestrian mystery out called The Opium Equation, and it's been doing really, really well. Love writing about horses. Have written horse training books and books about country music stars and their horses. And as you mentioned, the halters, I have halters from Manly Pet, which is a great new company that is manufacturing halters and dog leads and that type of thing.
Well, I mean, you're multifaceted. Now, you've been doing clinics and training seminars with people for many years, right?
Oh, absolutely. And, it's great to see the growth in the horse industry and even to get new people into the industry in a different level than what we were doing 20 or 30 years ago. I think the relationship with the horse is so much more important than it used to be.
Well, something is important about what you said, too. You've got a book that was inspired by the various country artists around, of course, around Nashville here especially, that so many of them are involved in horses. They've got the ranches, the farms, the places to keep them. And horses are really their great outlet. And it really proves how therapeutic they can be. You live that hectic career, you're on the road, you're putting up with this, you're putting up with that. It's not all the glory you may think it is. And this is their refuge.
Oh, absolutely. The book is called Horse Country, and when I started writing it, I was really afraid that each country music star would have about the same story, and there's 27 artists in there, and everyone had a different story about horses and how they changed their life for the better, and it's just amazing to see, the therapeutic value that horses have, and as a therapeutic riding instructor myself, it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing.
And you get surprised a lot, too. I do announce the International Buckskin Horse Association World Show in Memphis every year. And the last couple of years over there in the reining classes, there was a reiner, last name Timberlake. All right, first name I didn't recognize. And I said, in relation to Justin Timberlake. They said, yeah, it's his brother. They own a reining farm together somewhere between Nashville and Memphis. And sometimes Justin will show up and watch, but you never know it. But his brother does all of the riding. But, there's another name that's very heavily into horses. They do a lot of reining, and they have buckskins that you don't even think about.
No, you don't, and it's amazing the number of sports stars, politicians, actors, and actresses that are, just finding that horses are such a downtime for them just to relax, and they can be themselves. They don't have to worry about where the record is on the charts. They don't have to worry about memorizing the script. They can just let all of that go, be a real person, and just enjoy the company of a horse.
You're right. Well, how do people get a hold of you, Lisa?
LisaWysocki.com. That's WYSOCKY.com, or online on Facebook at Power of a Whisper.
Power of a Whisper on Facebook. There you go. Thank you. We really appreciate it. And we're here in Nashville at the Women's Horse Industry Network. Speaking of horses, Lisa, thank you very much.
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you very much.
More coming. Stay tuned. Speaking of horses is made possible by Equessentials Horse Care Products. For products developed by a horse person, for horse people, and horse use. Please check out Equessentials Horse Products. They have all the products you need to perfectly care for your horse's coat and physical appearance and well-being. Equessentials. Well, again, with Speaking of Horses, we're here at the Women's Horse Industry Network, and Char, or Charlene Peterson, my guest. Now, you have an innovative new product here, and I'm going to let you talk about this because it's something anybody in the horse industry would be very interested in.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Wayne. The Easy Mile Log in here, let me just kind of give you an idea of what it looks like, is a GPS mileage logbook. It's very simple to use. You plug it into your 12-volt adapter in your car or your cigarette lighter, and you push either work or personal. And what it does is it completely tracks all of your mileage for you. It's hassle-free, so no more manual logbooks where you have to sit down in the car and you have to write the date, and you have to write the time, and then you have to figure out what your mileage is. All you do is just push a button. When you're done, you simply take the unit and you download the data from the unit into your computer, and it will give you a complete report of the date, the time, the start address, the end address, and the miles. And it'll separate between what's work and personal. You print out a report, and it gives you all the detail that you need as required under the IRS code.
Well, that's really a neat thing, because, I used to be in sales, and, you were always playing with that game. And this thing is, it's one of those things going, duh, why didn't I think of that, right?
Exactly, and now it's 55 cents a mile. And that is one of the areas that if you're going to get audited, that's the first thing that the IRS is going to disallow if you do not have the required data. And we guarantee, if used properly, this will sustain an IRS audit with regard to tracking your mileage.
Fantastic. That's really, really a neat idea. That's part of what makes this Women's Horse Industry Network so important, is it doesn't matter whether there's 3,000 people here or 300 people here. If you get the right people here with the right products, the networking can send it everywhere. So how do people get a hold of you to get this?
Well, they can look us up online at www.easymilelog.com, and they can actually buy the unit right off our website, and we'll be happy to ship it to them overnight.
Overnight. See, how about that? That is service, right? Direct from Las Vegas, right?
That's right. And we're in the business to help people keep the IRS happy.
Well, if you have accurate records, you may not be keeping the IRS happy, but that's the goal. Well, the goal is to keep the person that owns it happier.
Oh, believe me, they're going to be much happier because then they don't have to sit down and write all this mileage down, and they can be worry-free.
Well, that's a great new product that we've seen here, and you've been one of the sponsors supporting this event, and we thank you for that as well. Once again, the website?
www.easymilelog.com.
Great. Char, thank you. Thank you. And be sure and check it out. And we got more coming with Speaking of Horses. Andis, professional, lightweight, versatile grooming tools for a best-in-show finish with every stroke. With Andis Power Stroke, you have a heavy-duty, high-speed, power groom for professional results every time you clip. Also, get great horse grooming tips from Dana Boyd Miller and from Andis. Check us out at andis.com, also on Facebook and Twitter. We'd like to make your dreams come true at Active Riding Trips. Whether you're an active horseman, avid horseman, or part-time horseman, you can enjoy Active Riding Trips. You can ride the Gold Rush Ride in the mountains of California near the Gold Rush Find, the hills of New England and Vermont, Virginia fox hunting, Tuscany to Ireland, and to South America. It's all there for you. You'll be treated like a king or a queen at ActiveRidingTrips.com. Get a hold of them, make your dreams come true, and make memories. Well, again, we're here at the Women's Horse Industry Network, and a lot of interesting data flowing, and I'm really kind of happy because I'm one of these few gentlemen in amongst all of these women.
You're outnumbered.
I'm outnumbered. But my guest right now is a lady that's done a wonderful book, and Janet Del Castillo is here. And tell us a little bit about the book and your involvement and how it led into everything you're doing here with the horse industry in general.
Well, it's a convoluted lifestyle, life story. I started out, we had a few race horses, and the long and the short, I ended up having to support myself, and I said, I think I'll do it with race horses, and found I would never recommend anyone think they can support their family with a racehorse. If you ever want to come into the business, make sure you can burn that money over on the side of the road. Well, in the process of learning about how to train and how to do everything, I found that nobody would share ideas or information with me from the racetrack. So I wrote a book, and in a way I learned everything the hard way, but what I'm trying to do is demystify racing and bring pleasure horse people into racing and let them know they can have a very active contact with the people in the business and with their horses, and they can save a lot of money by doing a lot of the work themselves, if indeed they're competent horse people, and have a wonderful time. Instead of going for ribbons, you go for money. Now, I still say don't think it's going to pay your mortgage, but the fact is you can have a great time going to the races. Your husbands love to go and bet. And the whole book is telling you how you can do most of the work yourself and how to get into racing, transition into racing by finding trainers, etc. Now, I am trying to get the racing industry to embrace this on a national level, and that's the hardest thing. The racing industry is very old style, and trainers tend to think they want to have the horses in their barn, and that's the only way. So I hope that eventually, by knocking on many doors, I can have racing become more user-friendly to the common man and to the horse person, so that we have full races and healthy horses.
Well, and you know, a beautiful part of this is the fact that, you know, it's that bond and that working with the horses between the human being and the horse that makes it so much fun. It's what really makes it work. And, you know, people that own these horses, the more they can do with them themselves, the better off everybody is.
Well, you know that it costs between maybe $40 to $70 a day to train a racehorse. And they're literally only out of the stall maybe 7 to 10 minutes on the racetrack, and then they're walked for half an hour, which I don't feel is healthy for any horse. So what I try to show in my book is that you can keep your horses at home, you ship into the track, you run in your local area, you go home, you fold them up in the winter, and you have a wonderful time. And if they can't be race horses, they have another life because you've nurtured them all along, and you've made sure that if there's any problems, you wait, and when they're right, you run them. So it's simple. It really is. It's common sense. I'm bringing it back to racing. How's that?
So how do they contact you? What's your website or your contact data?
Well, I appreciate that. The website is backyardracehorse.com, and there they could order the book and a 5-hour video showing how I trained a horse from 24 months of age. It was 200 days of training at my farm, a couple of trips to the racetrack, and then I show his first race where he ran fourth in a very good race, and then we show when he won. So it's very informative, and it makes you think, gosh, I can do it.
Well, and that's what it's all about, and it's fun in the process. And Janet, it's been a pleasure to have you join us for a moment and be here as a part of Speaking of Horses as we do our coverage at the Women's Horse Industry Network.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
It's our pleasure. Thank you, and stay with us. We got more on Speaking of Horses.
Thanks.
Well, again, we've been here all weekend long. Through the weekend, Women's Horse Industry Network Convention, Nashville, Tennessee. And a lot has been going on here with the Winnie Awards and everything. But right now, I'm happy to talk to one of the members from Canada. Nettie Barr is here. Also has natural horsemanship. And you come from a part of Canada sort of way up north, right?
Yes, we do. I come from northern Alberta, about an hour west of Grand Prairie.
So you're north of Edmonton.
Oh, yes. Edmonton is 6 hours from me. So, yeah.
So you are probably snowing there by now, right?
No, I'm hoping it isn't. As far as I know, it is not snowing there yet.
But, you know, what we're discussing, in your part of the world, there are a lot of horses.
Oh, that is a fact. In northern Alberta, actually, we're highly recognized as breeding some of the top horses. Yeah.
So tell us about your horsemanship program that you do there.
Okay, well, I do a combination of several things, but mostly in the spring, summer, and fall, I do clinics on natural horsemanship. So we start folks right from the very, very beginning on the ground, even right to how do you catch that horse safely and effectively with the round pen, all of the online groundwork exercises, the desensitizing and sensitizing. We cover trailer loading, general health care, handling yearlings, stallions. And then we also have a riding program where I have an intro to riding and an advanced stage 1 and 2 riding program. Then in the fall and winter months, I'm also a horse specialist, and I specialize in equine psychology and behavior. And then I travel to different universities and colleges and conferences around North America. And generally the topic that I speak on is equine psychology and behavior. However, it seems to have branched out into the workforce, and I speak to a lot of businesses on natural horsemanship and that correlation and leadership in our lives and the workforce.
Yeah, and it is amazing to me how much between human nature and horse nature can be tied in. I've always told people, if you can train horses effectively, you can raise kids. It's almost identical.
Oh, that is a fact. I often say to people that I'm convinced that no matter what age a horse is, that horse is always a child. Yeah.
But it's honesty, it's consistency, it's regularity, and you this creates this, and you can't play games with your kids when you're raising them. They don't understand what's a joke and what's real, nor does a horse.
Well, they're very black and white, moment to moment. But, I guess if you want to speak from the point of equine psychology is, children are still very much functioning out of the animal part of their brain. It isn't until they get older that they develop the higher functioning part. So really, there would be that similarity. Yeah.
Well, we're certainly glad to be able to talk to you here on Speaking of Horses and show the international flavor of the Women's Horse Industry Network, and we're glad to have you down from Canada.
Oh, it's wonderful to be invited. We're excited to be here. We're excited to meet all of the different people from here. It's a wonderful networking, team-playing environment, and we're very proud to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Now, how do people contact you if they want more information on what you're doing?
Oh, you just have to visit our website, which is www.canadiannaturalhorsemanship.com.
That's simple enough, and we're really glad to have you with us. Nettie, thank you.
Thank you very much, too.
My pleasure. Stay with us. There's more coming right here as we're at the Women's Horse Industry Network Convention in Nashville, Tennessee on Speaking of Horses.
She talks about him, dreams about him, thinks about him all the time. She's got to have him, be lost without him. You can see it in her eyes. What is it? What is it with girls and horses? She says, now when I was a young girl, they were my whole world. They were my one safe place. Now that I'm older, I still lean on their shoulders. I still feel like that girl some days. What is it? What is it with girls and horses? Sometimes I wanna give up, throw up my hands and say enough's enough. But that's when I go and saddle up and run away till I'm okay, until I'm not afraid of staying in the game. Maybe that's what it is. talk about 'em, and I dream about 'em. I live to love 'em, and I love to ride. I'll always have 'em, be lost without 'em. There's magic in those gentle lines. What is it? What is it with girls and horses? What is it? What is it with girls and horses? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Girls and horses.
Woodstar Products offers custom stalls for every barn and every barn style. Woodstar offers top quality design, construction, and customer service for every stall and barn need you can come up with. Custom built for you. Design your own stall with their new system online at woodstarproducts.com. Check them out. That's Woodstar Products.